Let's go out to Texas again, and this time we'll talk to Brittany. Hi, Brittany.
Hey, Andrew. I was wanting to see if you could clarify for me in Luke the parable of the shrewd manager.
Yes. Okay.
And that was it.
All right. Sounds good. Well, Brittany, yeah, we're in Luke chapter 16, and he says there's a rich man. Jesus is sharing this with his disciples. There was a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting his time, so he called him in and asked him, "What is this I hear? Give an account of your management, because you cannot be manager any longer." The manager said to him, "What shall I do now? My master is taking away my job. I'm not strong enough to dig, and I'm ashamed to beg. I know what I'll do so that when I lose my job here, people will welcome me into their houses." So he called in each one of his master's debtors. He asked the first, "How much do you owe my master?" 900 gallons of olive oil, he replied. The manager told him, "Take your bill, sit down quickly, and make it 450. Then he asked the second, "And how much do you owe?" 1,000 bushels of wheat, he replied. He told him, "Take your bill and make it 800. The master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of light. I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that when it is gone, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much, and whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you property of your own? No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." The Pharisees, who loved money, heard all this and were sneering at Jesus. He said to them, "You are the ones who justify yourselves in the eyes of others, but God knows your hearts. What people value highly is detestable in God's sight." I think you find your answer there. I agree that it's a difficult story and you wonder what the application is. But I think that Jesus gives us the answer here, Brittany, in verses 15 and following. You are the ones who justify yourselves in the eyes of others, but God knows your heart. What people value highly is detestable in God's sight. So, he's talking about money and how to collect money and how to do whatever you can to be shrewd in order to get the money that you're owed, and then make friends with people using your money. I mean, this is all worldly philosophy. And then the basic takeaway is you can spend your life being scared. You can spend your life worrying about the world and what they think of you, and you can spend your life carving out an identity centered on money collection, or you can spend your life investing in Christ and sowing to the Spirit. So as the parable concludes, I think we see the application. I understand why you might have asked this question, because when we look at a parable, what we want to do is say, okay, where am I in this? I mean, okay, there's a rich man and there's a manager. Okay, and the manager is shrewd. Okay, who's the rich man? Who's the manager? Where am I? Where's my brother in Christ? Where's the unbeliever? Where's God? And we're trying to, assign a role to each person in the parable. But I think sometimes parables, you have to take them to their conclusion and watch out for Jesus's application, because not every parable is about us. Not every parable is about the church. Not every parable is about us personally, especially. And sometimes we just have to wait for it, and then Jesus comes through with an application that may only be a sentence or two long. But the Jews were often taught in parables and stories and word pictures. And so this was very normal for them. I think the whole thing comes down to you can't serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you'll be devoted to one and despise the other. You can't serve both God and money. There you have it. What God values is totally different than what people value. What people value highly is detestable in God's sight. Now, again, that doesn't mean money is evil. As we've often talked about on this program, it means the love of money is the root of all evil. But money itself is not evil.